I've been here for almost 13 years, and my dad worked here for 20 years in the past, and I've studied in international school in Shanghai. So again, it's a place where there's a sense of belonging. So again, visiting Shanghai again is one of the destinations, which in the future, which I actually plan to come sometimes as a tourist. Maybe thinking about working here as well in the future. So again, I see myself want to be associated with one of the greatest cities in the world. And I've worked in London before, and I'm actually heading off to Singapore later on. And basically Shanghai, which is definitely a place to be in the future. It's growing as a fast developing country. First of all, there's always this culture shock you experience in Shanghai. As a first-time foreigner. But for me, I've mentioned before, I've lived here for almost 13 years. So all those things are quite common to me. So, basically, it's not a big thing for me because I've lived here for 13 years. I get used to life here in Shanghai. Also, nightlife is 24/7. You can see restaurants almost everywhere around the corners. Yeah, definitely the nightlife, the food around Shanghai, the people. It's definitely worth exploring around here. Well, first off, I live quite near it's a big, amazing water theme park in Shanghai. It's at Gi2C Road. It's called the Shanghai Dinner Beach. So again, during weekends, I normally tend to go there to swim. And apart from that, visiting all these rural places in Shanghai, and all these medieval, ancient places in Shanghai as well is worth exploring. Obviously, there's all these hidden treasures in Shanghai, which obviously you get to explore, and you can try it out. Yet getting around Shanghai, obviously we have the whole underground network, metro station, subway. You obviously take different lines. Taxi again working 24/7. Quite cheap fare. Get in there, 14 kwai, and starting rate, and then it's quite reasonable as well getting around. But I don't recommend taking the bus transportation. Obviously, it never runs on time, and it's always full packed with people. I applied for this accounting position in Star. Basically, the position company I managed to apply to was Star Accounting Limited. So again, it's family-run business. And they tend to provide lots of taxation as well as accounting, business and finance, and software development services for the range of clients. Basically a range of clients ranging from lots of local to basically international firms as well. And basically about this internship, it requires me to basically assist accountant on a daily basis, their routine like daily bookkeeping services to carry it out, cost accounting, expenses recording. Well, the work culture is basically, they're quite there's a relaxed attitude as well. During break times, we get together, lots of free times, which they take in between breaks as well. But the work culture will say that, most of them always, they want to see basically your can-do attitude. Basically they assign you something difficult to do, and then you have to basically be proactive, and at the same time, demonstrate you can do it. That's my first few weeks. This was a challenge first few weeks. Basically, I have to do all this memorization, basically all in Chinese. I do know my understanding of my bookkeeping, my accounting terms. Everything is well prepared, all in English from me. I have all the knowledge of it, but right now I have to apply it in Chinese, that's the difficult challenge. Well, they're all, as I mentioned before, they're all local citizens from China. I was assuming there was actually, initially I assumed there was actually an international department or division which I actually work with. But but it was a shock, obviously, to find out that all of them were just local Chinese citizens. But my first few weeks, they tried to get me involved, and they're very caring as well. They teach you help you go through the basics of all the Chinese, understanding the Chinese terms, all the terminology they use in accounting as well. And they teach you like a pattern how to use the account software, which you could try to follow through and basically memorize. And the Gi2C was doing like almost 3 years 3 or 4 years ago when I first applied for my position in London. You know, I read a couple of reports, a couple of job description they released on milkround.com. So again, I managed to see that what the whole program is about, all this internship they provide in Shanghai. So I thought that, maybe this would be relevant, in the future for me. So again, I save it into my favorites. And after 3 years of completing my job in London, so again, I decided that, it's time for me to head back to Southeast Asia to where, to work in the future. So getting to China is quite a simple step process. You just apply, and immediately just basically reply back to you, and then we arrange basically a Skype interview call, and then follow on. We've been assigned different agents or account managers, which they sort of help you seek your desired location, either Beijing or Shanghai, which depends on your first choice preference. But I always go for your first choice preference, as I've written accounting. It took me about two rejections before I finally found this particular job description related to accounting. So again, it's something relevant, which I definitely find it useful, which I'm definitely going to build up on. Learning more about the Chinese accounting tax system, how they, how is it different than the US? How they prepare accounts. Basically it's worth trying out. So again, I selected this position in Star Accounting Limited in Shanghai, because I can see that it definitely it definitely going to open doors in the future. Working, if you have any clients, hopefully in the future working in Shanghai, I can see that it's going to direct me towards this path. It's going to open doors definitely. Everything's actually well prepared for me. Everything's organized by my parents. Initially, I got here through my own public transport. I have my own transportation, obviously, getting here. But then getting to know my company, how they organize things, different activities as well, like during the weekends, which Gi2C members obviously provide for me. It's it's well structured, well organized, and I can say I've been having fun up to now, and I'm looking forward for more activities in the future. One time it was raining, and I tried to wave a taxi, while someone just cut through me and just straight away grabbed the taxi that I was actually supposed to get on, and he managed to leave. So again, it's where I thought that it's basically everything here is done first come first serve. There's no sort of politeness to go about. So again, I mentioned before, do what the Chinese do. Experience something different. It's obviously it's challenging, and it's also fun and funny thing to do. So my advice to you is be calm. Don't take things too seriously. Have lots of fun.